it is now 6:05. We're temporarily adjourning the select board meeting to open up the Board of Abatement meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Abatement meeting from Monday, November 3rd?
So moved.
Okay, Chris moves. Is there a second?
Sure.
Okay, John Demeter seconds. All those in favor of the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All righty, thank you, Chris, for that point of clarification on how to run a meeting. All righty, so the purpose of this meeting is to consider the request for abatement by the Welch Park Association Incorporated for abatement of all property taxes on lots 2 and 7 of the so-called Welch Park development owned by the association but never taxed by the town. Lots 2 and 7 will be conveyed to other parties as part of a plan for dissolution of the association. And the board is requested to consider abatement of all taxes that may have accrued on the two properties, lot 2 and 7, since the date each parcel was inadvertently admitted from the grand list to the date each parcel is conveyed by the association to third parties as part of the plan of dissolution and placed in the grand list. That's a big sentence. The request is pursuant to 24 VSA section 1535, which authorizes abatement of taxes due to, quote, a clear or obvious error of the listers. So,
Okay, so I don't even know if this meeting is necessary.
okay,
We can do it.
yeah,
I haven't had a chance to go back as far as 1993,
yeah,
the deeds. What I found so far, and this is research, and even today, is when Welch Park came about, do you have that out? Well, and John brought to my attention today too. Well, actually, what it says on two of the parcels 2 and 7. Again, this was last updated, one was 2006, one was 2007, so I don't even know who the lister was at the time. But, and I think it must have been either, it would have been the select board, selectmen, or zoning involved to how this was handled.
right,
But, it says the parcel is considered common land and the tax base is included and divided amongst all parcels in the industrial park. So I said, okay, well, and that's what Sean asked, he goes, what does that mean? And I'm like, it depends on who is involved and how they want to handle it. And I said, I don't think, I mean, I wouldn't determine that myself, I would either get zoning or the select board involved. But going back and doing research today on most, all the properties around Welch Park, what we do as listers is, there's no such thing as a view tax. But when you wanna tax a view tax, is you tax the land grade, am I saying this right?
It's a land schedule. Yep.
On the land schedule higher. And that's one of the assessor classes is data, it's a five-day class and how you assess property. And what I found on Welch Park, if you look at the property around Welch Park, you can look at some really nice property that if it's got view tax, it's probably 1.3, 1.4, average is 1.0. So that's pretty high for when you're grading a property. These properties are, what were some of them? 2.0,
2.0, which is
1.8.
not really.
So I think they were taxed, but they were taxed by upping the land schedule. So that's how they captured it, but they're, I go no crazy. So anybody that comes in here after I'm gone or after Sam's gone or any of us, you're gonna look and see what we did. That was the only note on this file from 2007.
There's not good notes, but it is clear that they knew that they did not put a value on it. So what they did is they inactivated those two lots, 2 and 7. And then they said that they didn't put a value to it, but however she just read it, how they worded it is like they're capturing that value a different way. Unfortunately, they didn't spell out, or if they did, the file isn't here.
Yeah, the old files.
On what exactly they did.
so are you saying, Sam, that and I think I've heard this from you too, but maybe I'm misunderstanding that somehow all the other lots sort of were valued slightly higher to account for.
Account for the taxes.
Okay, so
It's the only
that's,
thing I can make sense on how they would have done it, so which means when Carl, if he's the one purchasing both lots, I'll probably have never help us because this is unique, which is,
Right.
we're finding a lot of unique things for Middlesex, but. Is we're gonna have to reevaluate all the properties.
Well, that's what I wondered, would you have to
Yeah,
reevaluate?
and he's gonna be
To be
overcharged.
clear, no one is purchasing these lots. These lots are, and I did have a conversation with Peter Hood today, who, by the way, says hello to all of you. I was like, Peter, like, and I also sent an email to our lawyer, who's usually good about getting back to me, but he didn't today, so maybe he's wondering. Like, I was curious, as was Dorinda, like, how do these lots,
Not get taxed.
well, no, how do these lots just, how are they just being sort of transferred? So Venderson is taking lot. Two.
2 or 7.
Yeah, and actually, they're, what? Whichever one the fire pond is on, 7. Venderson is taking that and Balin is taking 2. Balin is taking 2 because that's where all the septics are, and that's like near, you know, where his buildings are. So all those septics are on lot 2, and there will be a sort of easement or right of way that Venderson gets to use those septics. And then lot 7, the pond, will have an easement to use the pond.
Right.
And so, you know, these aren't really building lots, which is maybe why they became like an association piece as opposed to like ownership by someone in particular. And Peter was like, he felt, I think his sort of recollection was that we don't want to have anything to do with owning those lots. Like, we don't want to have ownership of, you know, if we can just have our easement, that would be easier. And so because it's, this is a part of the association, and they're just sort of being, there's no one to sell and buy them from, right? There's not like so I think that's the answer to that, but you're right. It sounds like if that is the case, then you need to, then each
We need to
lot has to be
reevaluate all the lots.
reevaluated.
Yeah.
Including the lot 2 and the lot 7, which now will have a taxable value to it.
So they'll be owned by someone or something.
Right.
By either,
They'll be owned by
And that's
Benderson,
easy,
will
we
own
just change
lot
it to
7,
taxable, and then we just make,
yes.
As of a certain date.
Yeah.
right now, it's not tied to anything in the grand list for like a camera
Right.
file, so it goes
Yeah.
nowhere.
And I think that we were doing this, Shelley, I understand what you're saying. I think that we just want to cross our Ts and dot our Is.
I would
There's no
say-
harm in doing
There's
that.
no harm,
I
right?
mean, you,
It's
that's
the
like
cover-
tax that we're already captured
Yeah.
in a different way. So there's no harm in saying anything that might be due is not,
Right.
Right,
so.
So the recommendation is that we basically say that.
any
there
taxes that
is-
may have been due have been paid.
have been
Right.
paid, right,
Yeah.
and that no one, so that Benderson and Balin aren't in, you know, or the
Right.
future owners aren't coming back to say, where was this? So
Right.
that's the, and I don't think that, you know, we are supposed to deliberate, and close the meeting to the public. Do we have to?
No, I'd say follow the protocol,
Yeah,
and then we just come out and vote again, that's simple.
Okay. all right, so what we will do is stop the recording of the, oh, yeah, we'll stop the recording already. So, okay, so, then what happens? Oh. Close the public abatement hearing and enter deliberative session, clearing the room except for BOA members who will be deliberating. In the alternative, schedule a deliberative session for next time. We actually don't have to say anything right now.
Well, I think we need to vote to approve this proposal.
Okay,
and
well,
then-
let's just do that. Yeah, we might be
Yeah.
doing it.
someone has to write it up, right?
Right.
Yeah, all right. So is there a motion to approve the consideration of, because normally we're saying, okay, we'll get back to. We'll get back to the landowner, right?
Okay.
And with an answer, and the landowner's left, but let's just do it here. Let's just
Because
say.
then we need this in order to move
Yes.
forward with the others.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the consideration of the request, I mean, to abate the taxes of lot 2 and 7, if due to clear or obvious error of the listers? In the event that that's.
As detailed in our.
As
agenda.
detailed in our agenda.
And I'll move that.
Okay, Chris moves. Is there a second?
Sure.
John Kender seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
What I don't know how to do is how to write it up. There's like a form. a special form, isn't
I
there?
did one, yep, previously for
Okay.
you guys that haven't
Okay,
been done.
do you wanna send me that form and I'll just kind of modify it for this particular situation? Okay.
Please.
All right, so we're all set with the Board of Abatement folks, if you wanna stay, and